Moonies, how are you? So today I am doing another palette tag and I'm gonna answer the questions. And before I get started though, I want to try to do this in my videos. I am wearing a Beach Cosmetics Zodiac palette on my eyes and I'm wearing Remmel's 90s Baby on my lip. Okay, so there are 9 questions and let's get started. So question number 1 is, what is your first palette? I'm actually not sure what my first palette is, but I think it was either Too Faced Boudoir Eyes, which I actually recently decluttered because it was so old, or it was the Naked One palette, which I still love and still use. So that's that. The second question is, what was my most recent purchase? And my most recent purchase is the Kat Von D and Divine palette, which I absolutely love. And I have a video on this that I will link up in the cards. Question 3 is one you regret missing out on. And it's actually more than one. The biggest one that I regret missing out on was the Kat Von D Metal Matte palette, and I actually saw this in store and I had not tried Kat Von D before. I just didn't really get it, and so I didn't pick it up, and I regret it so badly because I am a huge fan of Kat Von D shadows, and I wish I just would have been up on it when it was there. Another one is, again, once I discovered how much I love Kat Von D, would it be the Mi Vida Loca Remix palette, which was already discontinued prior to the Metal Matte palette. And then another one that I kind of regret not getting, that I picked up, I think I had it in my hand at least 10 times, was the Urban Decay and the Alice in Wonderland, the second one for the second movie. It had like the butterfly thing. I think that's honestly what turned me off, was the packaging, because it seemed kind of bulky and ridiculous, and like the palette pulled out. But the shades in there were just so pretty. I see people using it and I'm like, oh, I should have just picked it up. Number 4 is one palette that makes you happy to look at, and I actually have 2. One of them is the Too Faced Best Year Ever 2018 palette. I don't know why, if it's this like crazy purple shade. I've used this palette so much in tutorials. This Santa's Helper too is really amazing. Even this blue Christmas Carol color. So this one makes me happy to, of course now my heat. I've been waiting for my heat to kick on for like 20 years, and of course it's going to kick on right now. Anywho, the other one that makes me happy to look at is this Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette. It's just so pretty. I think I need to film a video using this. I've used it quite a bit, but I have not filmed a video using it. The next question is one palette that you've changed your mind about. I actually have 2 that I changed my mind about. This may come to a shock to some people, but I did not initially like the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. I don't know. It didn't do it for me. I didn't understand why everybody loved it. When I picked it up, the first 2 times I used it, it did not perform that well for me, so I didn't like it. Then, as you can see, I have used it a lot. Then I was like, you know, I'm gonna like really try to use this palette, see if it's just me or if I just don't like Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows. I mean, you know, not everybody likes every type of shadow. And when I forced myself to use this for a week, I totally fell in love with it. So now we're in love, but it was not love at first sight. And the other one was the Tartelette in Bloom palette. I would see people put this like in their holy grails, and I would be like, why? Why? And this was another one. I like forced myself to use it, and when I did, I fell in love. So, and my gosh, Tarte's shadow smells so good. So that's that. one that surprised you. I had two that really surprised me, and one was the Too Faced Glitter Bomb palette. I actually did an Instagram story on my week with the Glitter Bomb palette, and that's what that looks like. I didn't think, you know, this came out at a time when Too Faced is a little bit sketchy, and, you know, having an all glitter palette, like, at that point was kind of weird, and people were like, why would you do that? You know, it's definitely an accent palette, and people just weren't necessarily on board. Like, now there's a lot of accent palettes, but at the time there just wasn't. And Too Faced was a little sketchy with their consistency. So, I swatched it in the store and absolutely fell in love. I think a lot of people, when they get Too Faced palettes, they really enjoy those glitter infused shades. So to have them all in one palette is awesome. And honestly, it kind of makes it so, like, I'm not as tempted to buy Too Faced, because a lot of times those are the shadows that I'm attracted to just looking at them, and then I'm like, I have a whole palette with them, I don't need this, because the rest of these are just neutrals, and that's what's in every other Too Faced palette, so I'm good. And then the other one that surprised me was the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. I fell into the trap of the whole Morphe thing, and I bought a bunch of Morphe palettes, and I thought they were horrible. Like, I thought they were, you know, just horrid. And I saw a few people get this, and I think it was like Jen Loves Reviews or something like that. I can't remember who exactly it was, but I'm pretty sure it was Jen Loves Reviews did a few videos on this, and it kind of made me think, like, let me just take a chance on it, and I'm so glad I did. I absolutely love this palette. Now that I've had this video done, I'm going to put it into my regular rotation. So, and I do absolutely think the shadows are different than they were. And the formulas are different, but you can totally tell. So I love that particular palette. I probably won't buy any more Morphe again because I have that palette. I really don't need anymore. So, but that one definitely surprised me. Number 7 is one that inspires you the most. I think the Jaclyn Hill palette is definitely one that inspires me. The Kat Von D, Saint Sinner. I'm very inspired by all of those colors and the layout. I think I'm also inspired by this new BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. Again, they all have similar feels where they have mattes, they have shimmers, they have color. I'm very inspired by that. And then I've actually used this so much. This is the Lorac Mega Pro 4, and I'm super inspired by this palette. I feel like it has mattes, it has shimmer. I feel like it has like that sort of like colors, but more for like everyday, like you're not going like disco dancing every second. Do people still go disco dancing? Oh my god, I'm showing my age. Anyway, and then one that's on my wish list, I have like 150 eyeshadow palettes. I don't really have a wish list. But if it was like a palette that if someone bought me, I would love it, but I'll never buy it, that I kind of really want, but still will never spend the money, would be the Natasha Denona, the green brown palette. Oh, I really do wish that I had that. But I'm never going to spend that much money. I have one Natasha Denona palette, which is the Sunset palette. I love it. It was too expensive. I'll never do that again. Just saying. And then my No Fail palette is actually a custom palette that I made. I got this magnetized palette from Ulta. It's a Tarte one, and I love it. Although it's funny, I hate animal print, but I just love this palette. I mean, the mirror's huge in there. But all of these shadows in here, no fail, I can make a great look out of this. These are filled with ColourPop shadows and Lunatic Cosmetics in here. So, and I guess this one really inspires me too. That's why it's my no fail. If I'm not sure what's going on, I just grab that and I'm good to go. Alright, so that's the end of another palette tag. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you like me doing tag videos, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If there's a tag that I haven't done that you want to see, just go ahead and comment below. I'll see you in my next video, and bye.